guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys something really cool. This is a technique and a tool that's used in marketing that honestly a lot of smaller marketers and business owners probably don't remember or know about or are consciously aware of it. And it will literally change not only how you look at your customers, it'll change how you look at marketing and getting your product or service into your customers' hands. And it's a complete game changer. Okay, now before I begin, I just want to say that the original content here came from Eugene Schwartz. He's a marketer from the I think of the 1940s and 1950s. He's the one that came up with the original concept of the 5 levels of consumer awareness. And the acronym that we have here on the screen in front of us is called UPSYD, UPSYD. I would like to go ahead and give proper credit to Keith Krance, the owner of Dominate Web Media, for creating this acronym based on Eugene Schwartz's original content. Okay, so what is UPSYD? UPSYD is considered to be the 5 stages of the buyer's journey, or as they say also, the customer awareness in relation to what it is that you are selling. Okay, so this goes for services and this goes for physical products as well. So I want you to imagine, if you're listening to this right now or watching this, I want you to imagine that you own a small business and you have people physically walk into your store. Okay, now obviously if you own something like a barber shop, or maybe you're a dentist or a lawyer, something that's mostly really specific, something like that, when people walk into your store, they're already at what we call solution aware. Okay, so in order for me to explain this, I'm going to explain the 5 levels of awareness. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start at the bottom of where the U is, and it's called unaware. Okay, so basically what happens when you're in this stage, that means that you are A-okay, everything is going fine, and you do not have a problem. Like, let's say, I like to use the example of pest control, or maybe you've got mice or something in or even cockroaches, doesn't matter, in your house, right? So you're going along your life just fine, and you don't have any problems with bugs, and you never have to call anybody. You're totally fine. And then all of a sudden, one day you wake up and you've got a bunch of ants at your house. So what happens is you wake up and decide that you have a pest problem, and now you are immediately aware that you have a problem and you desire a solution, but you're not sure what the solution is. Okay, maybe you live in a neighborhood where, I don't know, pest control isn't allowed, or maybe you don't know what your options are. Maybe you don't want harmful chemicals, right? So what you do is you sit down at your computer per se, or you start doing research, typically on the computer, but you start calling around or asking friends and saying, hey, is there any way, what are the top 5 ways do you think that, or top 10 ways maybe, that I could solve this problem? You know, should I move out? Should I fumigate? You know, like there's this huge range of possibilities, right? So that is what we call the problem and desire aware stage. Okay, so now that we've got a bunch of like 10 different solutions, the future customer starts doing some research and trying to figure out like what exactly do they want? What kind of result do they really want? Now your solution up here at the top, by the way, where the D is, it's right above the D, that's where purchase happens. So we're going up the stairs here, okay? So you are not an option yet, but you're maybe coming into a fuzzy focus. Maybe they run across your blog post. This is where they start typing in things into search engines like Google and YouTube and stuff, and they're like, best pet. Maybe they decide to go with pest control, right? So then they're like, okay, best pest control in Texas, right? Or best pest control, that's really hard to say, in Dallas, something like that, right? So they're starting to type in, what are my options to get these things done, right? Then when the person has decided and they're moved into they've narrowed down their choices, and now what they do is they've got the top 3 vendors, and so let's say they've got you and 2 other people. and you're selling pest control, right? And they've decided. So now what they're going to do is they're going to go through and weed out their final decisions based on their own internal metrics, you know, like price, timeline, whether or not you're organic, things like that, methodology, things like that, turnaround time, results, rates, you know, all those kinds of things. And then at the very tippy top here, this is where people who are already know, like, and trust you, who have already purchased your product before, and if they were to see your ad, they would just like need a good deal or a good coupon to come back and repurchase from you. Okay, so those are the 5 stages of awareness, as it were, of your brand. Now, at the same time, now this is some original content I came up with, and I want to explain it to you. I went through and I found out that there's actually a there's something that you came up with in I think it was the 1940s. A PhD psychologist came up with this. It's called the Wheel of Emotions. And what he learned was that when human emotions are basically stair-stepped, and what I figured out was that there is a whole bunch of emotions that match to each level of awareness. Okay, so the title of this video has something to do with, you know, finding the right content for, you know, your prospect, you know, or to find in a blog post. And the way that you're going to do that is now we're going to walk through the emotions that they're feeling at each level. And once we understand where our customers are, and sometimes we won't always know, but we'll have to kind of ask them, oh, have you heard of us before? That means they're at least solution aware, or you're solution aware, right? Then we know usually where they're at here, and we'll know how to respond to them emotionally to get them to come up higher to make a purchase. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's look at the step ladder again with the emotions now. Okay, so down here on the unaware, we've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 12 words here that describe the emotions that people were feeling as they were. Okay, so they're ignorant, not in the way that's like mean, but just like they don't know of you. They're uninformed, they're oblivious, they're naive, they're innocent, they're unconscious. You know, because the guy didn't have a bug problem, so why would he even care, right? And this is where a lot of, you see I put a dotted line in here. This is where a lot of, we call this cold market and or branding happens down here. You know, that's why when you're doing Facebook ads and you're what I call running ads down to a cold market, I literally mean down the stair step, down here to the unaware, so people can at least start to know, like, and trust you and move a little bit further up the ladder, you know, if they ever need your services. Okay, so typically when we're doing marketing, we want to market what I call, you're up here with your product or service, because that you're at the very tippy top. You're gonna, I don't want to say talk down, but you're gonna talk down to either the problem aware or the solution aware people in here. Okay, and what you do is, if they're scared, you would create content. So let's say the guy just woke up and now he's problem aware, and right here at level 2, and he's, I won't say he's quote scared, but let's say he woke up and found out he's got ants everywhere. Okay, now he's probably feeling, he's confused, he's bewildered, like, how did that happen? He's discouraged because he's tried everything and it's still happening. He's anxious, he's overwhelmed because he knows now he has to go do something about the ants, or his wife will get mad at him, or rejected. It just depends on what the product or service is here. Okay, then as he starts to do research on his problem, he starts to realize that yes, there are ways that we can solve this, and that would be amazing if we could get it solved. So usually I pick the word optimistic and hopeful in here for marketing words, but these are some other words that would describe it. Then as they start to narrow down the choices to the top 3, they're like, okay, I've got, Ace Pest Control, this guy, and the other guy. And I know as soon as I pick which vendor, I'm going to feel like this little emoji guy with my glasses on, and I'm going to feel confident and I'm going to feel successful if we get this done. Okay, and once they have purchased from you and have made that commitment, they now feel content, trusting, and secure, and loving, and pensive, and thankful that the solution has been taken care of, and now they feel great. Now, there's one other layer on here that I didn't put on here, but it's called post-purchase. So it's up here. It would, after they already buy from you and whatnot, it would be actually mirror image after powerful. Typically, a buyer will go in, just think of yourself, right? Like last time you bought an iPhone or some sort of device or any item ever. After you've made a purchase, you're usually either content and loving, or you're angry. You're upset with your purchase, and you're usually one of the two. Or maybe you're middle of the road and you're totally fine with it. But that's also what we call the post-purchase emotional state too. Okay, so now what does this have to do with your content? So now this is where this part is so important, you guys. It was just really, really worth going through the extra moment here and explaining it. So now what we do is we go through the situation, and what we're going to do is we're going to work backwards. So let's say let me use a different example here. I like to use a fitness product. Okay, so what you do is you put your product at the very, this is an actual worksheet I have associated with this video. So let's say we offer a fitness solution up here, okay? So this is what happens after people purchase your fitness, okay? Now, I don't know where these people are going to be. Maybe they've never heard of me. They don't know they need to lose weight. Here they need to lose weight, but they don't know how to lose weight, or maybe they want surgery, maybe it's a weight loss solution, maybe it's a drink, maybe it's a keto diet. Like there's 1,000 different ways to lose weight, right? You could starvation diet, you could do, it doesn't have to be all food related. Like there are other solutions that people take, right? So if I was trying to sell a fitness supplement, and the whole point of this video is to figure out how to create content to the level of the person you're talking to, here's what you would do. If you're going to do, I'm going to call it 2 types of content. Okay, so the first one down here is going to be cold market. So I would fish all the way down into cold market. Okay, so what I would do is I come look at these words here, and I would see the words, or excuse me, these are people who haven't heard of me. Okay. But these people here, they haven't heard of me, but they know they need to lose weight. So it's going to be easier for me to talk down to these people here at this level, okay? So what I do is I come down here and I look at the words that are used to describe their current state, okay? And I just pick one, okay? They're overwhelmed, okay? What are they overwhelmed with in their life about their weight loss? What current situation are they in? Okay, this is where market research comes into play, and you having to know your market. But what I like to do is take the opposite of your thing, okay? So the final answer here is going to be the fitness drink. Let's just say it's a shake, okay? I've got a fitness shake. The people down here are looking for a solution, but they don't know that it's going to be a shake, let alone my shake, okay? So what you do is you take the opposite of this, and you would say, okay, this person does not have a fitness drink. And because of that, they are feeling one of these emotions in their day-to-day life, right? Because of X, Y, Z that they're doing each and every day. Okay, so you make it into like this statement. You're like, okay, so I got to think. I'm like, okay, why would somebody feel overwhelmed in their day-to-day life? Okay, and who wants to lose weight, right? Well, maybe they are embarrassed that they have to go to the potluck and they don't want to because they don't know what to bring, and they don't know what to cook because they're supposed to be on a diet. Or maybe they feel anxious because they have a wedding coming up, or they feel insignificant because they're in a relationship and they're having emotional problems connecting with their significant others, right? So this is where, if you want to be successful with your marketing, you find out the scenarios that these people are in, your customer. What is it that they're doing? Now, and also think about the age of your consumer too, because like if I'm marketing to a 45-year-old woman, it might be different than to a 21-year-old woman, right? Who wants a shake, right? They would be in different words would describe their situation. So keep that in mind. So you want to write down what these people are doing, and then what you do is you create a piece of content around it that says something like, feeling overwhelmed with not losing weight in 2020? Click here to learn more. Boom, you just hit them right between the eyes, and now they're connecting with you, right? Or you could say, feeling discouraged about your current weight loss? Find out how our solution can help you, right? Because your goal, you guys, is to bring them up the ladder. Okay, so the content helps scoop them up this way, but honestly, it's the final sales letters and stuff that push people over the edge. They've got to, typically people have to be around you or encounter you for, anywhere from 7 to 15 times before they'll actually make a purchase. So it's your job to figure out the emotional pain that they're in down here. Like, what lie are they telling themselves in their head about your service or product, or about themselves, that they don't know about, to take them up to the next level, to make them start to feel hopeful. Because if you start dripping content to them that said, first one says, oh, maybe they find you on a news feed where you put out a blog post that says, hey, feeling overwhelmed about your weight loss? Yeah, you click that. Then maybe the next post they see is, be optimistic about your weight loss in 2020. Okay, great. Now it's not always linear like this, but I'm just saying, like, you might need to use your wording multiple times with these, words down here. These are the actual emotions that were labeled on the wheel of emotion. Okay, all right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was part one. There was going to be a second one to come right after this. I'm going to show you how to construct a story based on this right up in here, and how to actually create a post that will get you more likes, comments, shares, and clicks in the news feeds, especially on Facebook, when you're creating this piece of content right here without getting banned. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. So take care.